252 Pop Fiction, where you'll find all the news and reviews in pop culture that's right to type. Our top story, Willie Well.
Mark Paul Gosselaar recently said that him and his former Saved by the Bell co-star Dustin Diamond haven't spoke since 1994.
This is very hard to believe. I thought they would be friends forever, man. They had this
Well,
off.
they were actually really, really tight friends when they were filming the show. If you go by the unauthorized thing, they were actually friends in casting, and they were like both like, I hope you get it, I hope you get it. But then after Dustin Diamond with the porn,
all that stuff,
the Dirty Sanchez,
he kind of went off the rails.
Fighting, he kind of went off the rails, and I think Mark Paul Gosselaar just
had enough.
He gave his distance, and
probably for the best.
I'm pretty sure the entire cast of Saved by the Bell was like,
not trying to mess with you.
Even Elizabeth Berkley after she did Showgirls.
Oh yeah,
that was a good career move.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I haven't seen much of her.
I mean, yeah.
You haven't.
I haven't.
Well,
I haven't.
Took a turn.
I haven't thought about Saved by the Bell since 1994. So what does that say?
That says that you're out of the loop, my friend.
Yes,
I'm out of the loop.
It's still good.
Beat, Bayside.
All right. An arrest warrant was issued last year for R. Kelly's former manager, James Mason, after Mason was accused of threatening to kill the father of Jocelyn Savage, one of the women featured in Surviving R. Kelly. Singer R. Kelly's career and Playboy lifestyle are riddled with rumors of abuse, predatory behavior, and pedophilia. Survivors and people from R. Kelly's inner circle come forward with new allegations about his sexual, mental, and physical abuse.
He did it.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, Lifetime ran, I believe it was a 6-episode docuseries.
Right.
R. Kelly has come out and said that he hasn't seen 1 minute of this footage.
Well, of course not. Did JFK see the Zapruder footage?
Lies.
Well, no, he was dead, but still. It's damning evidence.
I don't know. I know we've talked about this before because it's one of those things where it's like you don't really want to believe the stories.
No, yes, you do.
When so many come out, I mean, come on, like the R. Kelly piss story. I mean,
did you see it?
I saw it.
Did you see him piss on a child?
I saw what looked like it could have been R. Kelly. It was very hard. It was a grainy copy that I saw.
Well, he won't do a public service message, so I think we should. Children, when you get older and you find that special person that you love, don't pee on them.
That's
But definitely let them pee on you.
Yeah, well, it's not,
Now, this is not that, though.
Yeah.
This was a grown man taking advantage of a young child, and I heard that there were allegations that he was messing around with girls as young as 12.
Oh, that's gross.
Well, I know
that's ill.
that
Against
recently
the law,
Damon Dash was doing an interview with Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can go ahead and throw it up, the interview. But, Nick was kind of saying this stuff because like, hey, man, you worked with him. He was like, no, I didn't. He was like, well, it was Rockefeller. You guys worked with him. He was like, no, not Rockefeller. And he was like, nah, it was Jay-Z and R. Kelly's like, we didn't do it. And then Dame kind of flipped the script and was like, look, man, when I was with Aaliyah, he wanted to ask what was going on. She didn't want to talk about it. But then when it came out, he had said some stuff that was very kind of powerful. And it almost made you sit back and be like, oh, damn, that was like, and he said, I've been sitting on this for years.
He married a girl at 16. She was 16.
Yeah.
I caught the docuseries, and I'll have to say, when I was done watching it, I was pretty disturbed by it. It was made me sick to my stomach, man. It was pretty bad.
Well, that's good. That means that
You're
have a conscience.
you're
You're a good human being.
We were talking recently about who is the king of R&B,
okay.
kind of threw R. Kelly's name out there, even with all the allegations, but then with all this other stuff, it's kind of like, with the girls saying that they were like being held hostage in the house and all this stuff. And we had talked about this before, but now it's even, I think, seems like before it was talked about, but then it was kind of not swept under the rug, but
it was like a best kept secret that was out there. People knew about this stuff. But, when you got money, fame, power, etc.
Sometimes you just get a pass, you know? It's
Yeah,
terrible.
but for some things you shouldn't
terrible.
get a pass.
And we are against giving passes.
Except for me. Harp.
The Oscars are ready to radically reinvent the award show's long history. For the first time in nearly 3 decades, that's 30 years, the biggest night in movies plans to go without a host. Dios mio! Producers will select a crop of A-listers to introduce various segments instead of relying on one marquee name to kick things off. The group behind the Oscars are scrambling to line up top talent needed to carry the telecast, which is airing live in February.
Okay, so this story is in direct response to the whole Kevin Hart was going to be a host, and in less than 24 hours, they pulled it because of some old tweets that he did. You know, we had talked about that before.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's
Then
just
there was a
big
huge
mess.
campaign of people saying, give Kevin the job. He even went on Ellen.
And Ellen was actually campaigning for him to get the job back. I don't think he really wants it though.
You know,
At this point.
Yeah, at this point, he's
it's
like,
I didn't want it anyway.
no, actually, he really did. It was like, I mean, if you could believe certain reports, it was definitely on Kevin Hart's, career bucket list.
Right,
get an
right.
opportunity
As it
to
should
host
be.
the Oscars.
Right.
But
I'm saying, if you're gonna act like this, then why would I want to do it? I mean, resurfacing some old stuff. I mean, just think if they unearthed your chest from, when you were 12 years old and got your diary out and you said some things in it. It's like, come on, man, I was 12. I've grown since then. Same
well,
thing
you would
Kevin
hope
said.
you've grown since then.
Well,
I possibly have grown since then.
I'm glad they reinvented the Oscars, and I will be thinking about that while I'm watching something else.
And you also got to think about it, though, the stuff that Kevin Hart may have tweeted that's also a part of his comedy back then.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
He's doing a different brand of
And
comedy
it's-
now, but
And it shows growth now.
And
How
it
are you going to
shows
have
growth.
that stuff
And
and not grow? I
It's
mean,
going back to, let's stop digging up ancient history.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I don't care what somebody said 10 years ago.
I mean, sometimes.
It's funny.
Well, sometimes things.
Caligula, not guilty.
Yeah, sometimes things do matter. Like sometimes you can say things and they stick with you. Sometimes you can grow. I think, and I'll just close it up with this. Kevin Hart did send out a tweet, and it was like, and I'm just really paraphrasing. He goes, you're not born like a great basketball player. You're a great basketball player when you learn to play the game of
There you
basketball.
go.
You're not a great doctor until you learn how to be a great doctor. You're not a great teacher until you learn how to get to the students and this, and he went on and on and on. And as a person and a comedian, ultimately, you can't be a great comedian until you learn, and
There you go.
and again,
You may have
he's
to-
not apologizing,
Which he shouldn't.
They shouldn't have to.
yeah, but it's also, but there were some people like, I believe it was Don Lemon, the one of the news people from CNN,
Oh, yeah.
who was in.
He's all LGBTQ.
Yeah, because he's an openly gay man, and he was saying just because of the platform, the celebrity, and the popularity that Kevin Hart does have, if he was to just apologize for it, it would hold water. It would hold weight.
I don't think so. I think these apologies now are just,
Formality.
I think I think the
expected.
crafted apologies, like the Kathy Griffin no makeup. I'm sorry for the comments that I made.
Looking like a hostage video.
Yeah, it's like, why you gotta have the no makeup and stuff? It's like, oh, you're a real person, you're down to earth. That kind of apology I don't need. But if you just say, look, man,
Hey, I'm sorry.
hey. But
How many times has somebody apologized and you could tell they don't mean it?
Well,
or
if you
don't
really
care?
want an apology-
we should just move on.
this week's review, Aquaman.
Woo! I apologize
Atlantis.
for this.
Atlantis is an underwater kingdom ruled by a power-hungry King Orm.
Ooh.
With a vast army at his disposal, Orm plans to conquer the remaining oceanic people.
Wouldn't that be a navy?
And then the surface world. Standing in his way is Aquaman, Orm's half-brother, half-Atlantean brother, and true heir to the throne. With help from Royal Chancellor Volko, played brilliantly by Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
I know you like that because you like to
I
put
do.
Willem Dafoe in all of your retro recasts.
Exactamundo.
Aquaman must retrieve the legendary Triton of Atlan and embrace his destiny as protector of the deep.
All of that that synopsis was muddled as hell.
No,
not the writing, but I mean, it was the plot of the movie. It's
I would okay.
All right, first of all, you said who. Orm has been fighting with Aquaman since Aquaman existed.
King
so
Orm
Black
is
Manta.
the ocean
Who?
master. Black Manta. Now, the way that they introduced those characters, I thought they introduced them in a clever way. Casting wise, okay. How do I want to say this? Without doing a lot of spoilers,
Yes.
I would have to say that the
You should go see
overall
this
story of Aquaman was good. There were several plot holes if you are connecting it to the
DCU.
EU because they had scenes where they clearly showed in other movies things going on.
Yeah.
But then you watch this movie and they did
I think
it
at
as,
some point.
and that kind of took me out of the movie. Like in the beginning, like Mira, I thought when I saw Justice League, like they were talking, and then they had the mother box and all
like,
the
hey,
stuff.
we know each other.
And then
We
the guy
know each
came,
other.
you know, Steppenwolf came and took the
Yeah.
mother box, and it was fighting in the whole thing. So then I don't understand why when it goes to Aquaman and they go to Atlantis, Aquaman's like, hey, this is Atlantis. What's all this? I was like, didn't you already know where Atlantis was? Weren't you
I
there?
don't believe the movie was supposed to take place after Justice League.
Yeah, and that's what I thought until she said, hey, you defeated Steppenwolf. And I said, oh, okay.
Look,
So much for spoilers.
it was a fun
Oh,
movie.
so much for spoilers.
If you haven't seen Justice League yet,
Yeah.
I just spoiled it for you.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed the
movie
It
spoiled
was
itself.
fun. It was
I'm
action.
not saying it
I
wasn't
enjoyed
fun. I'm not saying that the movie. I mean, it was.
Counterpoint.
Oh my goodness.
This movie, while it was entertaining, I'm not going to take that away from it. It's fine.
It was
I
a
don't want to be a
spectacle.
DC hater. That's fine.
It was a spectacle.
But it did cherry pick some things from a lot of movies, and that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
let's
all I'm
take
gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything.
like 2 minutes out of a 2 hour and 13-minute movie and say because of these 2 minutes, the whole movie's awful.
I'm not saying the whole
no,
movie's
the movie's awful because it was awful.
Oh, it wasn't awful. I'm supposed to be the hater.
Okay, well, I will say that a couple things took me out of the movie again because of plot hole points.
Nicole Kidman's
And-
Kung Fu.
And I was like, well, yeah, the whole de-aging thing. DC really needs to work on their CGI when they do that. It looked very
I was
cartoonish.
just happy to see the actor play Jango Fett and something other than
Yeah.
Yes.
Jango Fett. I was
All right.
glad
You
to
know
see
what?
him.
I was glad to see that.
I was like, yeah.
I enjoyed the
He
movie.
was a great character.
It was
I like
exciting.
And I even like the casting of the young kids who played young Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they could have grown up to be.
I could have had more of that.
Yeah.
If they were,
Which-
they should have done like an origin story.
No.
I
I'm glad they didn't. No, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah,
What they did was fine. What they did was fine. And I hate to put it this way, but in the realm
They
of
rushed it.
DC movies,
They rushed it.
like it's the number 2 movie they got. Because the rest was so bad. So
I'm supposed to be the hater.
no, I'm just saying they were
They
really
look
bad. I mean, slit your wrist kind of bad.
Come on, man.
They were not good.
Yeah.
A sullen Superman. You Superman, why are you sad?
Because his planet was blown up and he's the only one left.
Get over it!
35.
That was years ago. Got so many.
Well, that kind of thing stays with you.
Eh.
You may be right.
Plus, yeah.
Martha, why'd you say that name? Come on, man.
All right.
All right,
You know
that's
what?
that- you know
Hey,
what?
it's 2019. We love DC, and Ralphie D recommends Black Mirror Bandersnatch. It's a 2018 interactive film in the science fiction anthology series of Black Mirror. It was written by series creator Charlie Brooker, directed by David Slade, not to be confused with David Spade. Netflix released that standalone film on December 28, 2018. And if you haven't seen it yet, you should see it. Choose your own adventure, baby.
It's one of the best choose your own adventures interactive movies that I've been a part of. The running time on the movie is, 90 minutes?
Something like that.
But if you do all of the choices, it has been recorded that you can watch up to 5 hours or over 5 hours of this
No
movie.
thanks. I'm running through it one
I
time.
when I remember when I watched it, 40 minutes after the damn credits, I was still choosing things to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just exit out because
you'll fall into
that rabbit hole. And it starts from the very beginning when they first ask you like, what cereal do you want to eat?
Don't spoil now, because I haven't seen this. I'm watching Black Mirror right now, but I don't want to watch Bandersnatch till I finish the series.
Okay, well, I was it does. It is a standalone, but do it your way.
I'm enjoying Black Mirror.
It's almost impossible to spoil this because there's over 5 hours of footage.
Were you a fan of the Twilight Zone?
The Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
I vaguely got some episodes into that.
To me, Black Mirror is like an updated version of Twilight Zone, where there's kind of it's an allegory, it's a story, you learn something, there's a twist at the end, and it's just,
Sometimes they use the same actor, sometimes there's just bits and pieces from other episodes in new episodes, and if you watched it chronologically, you would be like, oh, that was in that, or that was in that.
And the very first episode definitely gets your attention.
Yes, it does. That's good stuff.
So watch episode 1 if you like it. It's a great series.
And it's funny because I even say sometimes episode 1 and 2 are kind of outside of the rest of the series. Mm-hmm. So if you stick with it, 3 to the end of the series, and they're short seasons. They're like 3-4 episode seasons. So it's like you could really burn.
I think they're like 7 episodes. But don't quote me on that.
But no, I just watched it. The first season, I believe, had 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And season 2 had 3.
Yeah.
And then they bumped it up to 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because I was watching, I'm like, what season 2?
I was real like, I'm missing some episodes. What the? That's it. I had to use Mr. Internet. Mrs. Net. I'm Ralphie D, and that's news to me.
I'm Cool Water Kurt. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We'd like to hear what you think. Leave us a comment down below and let your opinion be heard.
I'm JB. I'd like to give a shout out to my man AM at Comics Most Wanted. And this is 252 Pop Fiction, where you hear it
First.
first one for 2019.
Donna, pull yourself together.